Here's a graph of players' total opening kills at Pro League, with Simple, Magisk, and ZywOo all standing out above the rest of the pack. And then, off in a world of his own, there's YEKINDAR. Now, those numbers were total opening kills, but because Liquid made it to the final, they play way more maps than everyone else, so maybe it's fairer to look at a percentage of rounds where a player went for the opening. And even here, YEKINDAR is in a league of his own for opening kill attempts, ahead of aggressive players like Patsy, Roland, and former opening kill king, Art. Let's start on Dust 2, where here YEKINDAR is secondary AWPing. He nades to be able to cross safely, and then throws this mid-smoke to Xbox, which allows him to push into lower tunnels. And even though he gets flashed off this angle, OC is holding mid from short so he can get back to a different angle, get the opening kill for his team, and fall back safely. And then as he goes back to AWP over at B, even though his teammate dies towards mid, he is able to turn around and hit this fantastic shot, and somehow even gets a second in a really tough position with the sniper. What I really love about this smoke though is that it gives YEKINDAR different options for his aggression. Here in this one, he throws the same smoke, but this time coupled with a molly to the left side of mid, and that allows him to entirely isolate this fight into suicide, and see you later, suck. That is such a quick shot. It's really nice to have those two options to keep the T's guessing when you throw this smoke. And even in this round, he's able to tuck back into lower tunnels, which is some good map control for his team. Just in general, YEKINDAR was so active as that B rotator, where he has options to either just sometimes push with the AWP into tunnels and get the opening pick, or have confidence in Naf as the anchor on the site and go ahead and take matters into his own hands towards lower tunnels. And it was so fun to watch how active he was here. YEKINDAR's biggest strengths has to be his pre-aiming and micro adjustments are both fantastic. His scout shot is ridiculous and a good example of the skill he has. And that's why Liquid are often comfortable leaving him alone in defaults. Here on T side, he is alone in lower tunnels, so needs to make sure he handles this aggression and does so effectively with the first kill. And he's also able to figure out that if a player pushes lower, they probably have some support from a short player, so pre-aims this second fight perfectly as well. Even threw that little jump in there to see towards the left side, so he was more certain Cirque would be on the right side if he was here, which is why he pre-aims this so effectively. In this one, again, he's alone towards tunnels, and he still tries to put some pressure onto the B site, but that means he has to turn on a swivel and be aware of the potential lower tunnels aggression, which isn't easy to do, but he's able to do it as he deals with Nealon. And then getting into the post plant, YEKINDAR is still looking for options to be active. Being ready to peek from window here is an excellent idea, because if you take a look at the minimap, OC is holding the mid doors, so he can just wait for OC to take the shot. That takes the attention away, and YEKINDAR's able to clean up a couple more kills to put his team in a good position. Maybe doesn't need to take that last fight though, if we're being nitpicky. Here we get some early utility to help YEKINDAR go for map control. The nade obscures vision, and then the molly down mid allows a smoke to instantly land on Xbox so that YEKINDAR can challenge short. And if there were any CTs here, he would be very ready for this fight. Instead though, it's just some early free short control, which is always great to have. And that cool set of nades yet again sets us up to see just how good YEKINDAR's aim is here on this A play. Let's look at that crosshair placement on Mirage, where YEKINDAR is oftentimes playing around mid, where all the action initially is. And here in this one, he showcases his unreal knowledge of angles, clearing the standard spots at mid and not exposing himself to short until he's ready with the perfect pre-aim. And this is exactly what you want to do. Make it as easy for yourself as possible to hit the shot, never get caught off guard. This is just the perfect example of that. It almost looks like he's walling here with how good this is. And then later on towards B, it's a little easier here as he hears the player coming his way, but again, the crosshair is perfectly placed, and it's easy to line up their headshot when that's the case. Whew, I was kind of spitting bars there. Get another example of that a few rounds later, where you have the early utility and the nice flash towards mid, which allows this solid opening kill. But then as he spots this player in underpass, it just makes it so much easier for him to pre-aim the position and again, not have to adjust his crosshair at all. And then he's also got great micro adjustments when he needs to, like this ridiculous push into connector, which was such a good shot. Apparently my game couldn't even handle it because it froze after. Here in this one, again, YEKINDAR is able to get out through mid early, and I think when he sees this smoke deployed all the way over from the A site, figures it's less likely there's someone in connector, so is able to sneak in initially. And then from here, he doesn't force the fight this time. Instead, he waits, and huge shout out to Mirage for this flash, which sets up this nice opening kill. Here in this one, again, the utility towards mid is super solid, setting up a very easy opening kill for YEKINDAR. He's going to get those all day long. And again, it even turns into a 2K. And while it's not as easy for his teammates to set him up for the CT aggression, you will often still go for it, like this underpass push to get another opener for his team. And then I also really like that Liquid runs some of these advanced setups every now and then where Mirage can play forward with YEKINDAR on short, and look how well they work together here, taking this fight at a similar time to get the early advantage. And because they're also at mid, it allows YEKINDAR to very quickly go ahead and help out over on A, where he will take these ramp fights with an AK on AK all day long. The one map in the final where his playstyle really paid off was on Inferno, where against Vitality, he was demolishing them on Banana. In this early gun round, he lines up this deep molly so the CTs can't peek him on Banana, and that means he can keep this smoke out and time it with this flash beautifully to isolate these two angles, and Nitro's utility is so good here in allowing YEKINDAR to take this fair fight against Spinks at Sandbags, which he wins. And the utility makes it really difficult for Apex to help his teammate here. In the next round, Vitality decide to fight for Banana control, and YEKINDAR is happy to concede it this time, although he does use utility to try and make it difficult. He is, however, able to hear that Apex has pushed up close, so makes sure to hold, and I guess Apex is trying to use the fading smoke to his advantage, but does not work out as YEKINDAR is ready for him. And then YEKINDAR is able to go up Banana, again have that crosshair placement on point to spam the smoke against Spinks. And all this ground he's taken means he can put himself into this deep position in CT where Liquid know exactly how to utilize him best. A single flash comes through, it's another kill, and incredible impact in this round. I was a little surprised that Vitality kept giving these fights to YEKINDAR, but this time they don't fight him on Banana. Instead, Spinks is playing this angle from the site, but yet again, YEKINDAR's crosshair placement nets him a really easy kill, and you can already see he has racked up a 100% headshot percentage so far, which is always a good sign. Into this one, Vitality decide to put ZywOo's AWP over on B, but YEKINDAR still wants to challenge, and this time he calls for this boost, which is just back far enough so that he can jump up crouched, not get spotted initially, and then just uncrouch to peek over the top, which makes a big difference in not being spotted while jumping. And then he's also able to get the blind kill onto Spinks, who's been having a rough go of it so far. It's also worth saying that even if you go 1-for-1 on Banana as a T on Inferno, you're happy with that because it's already hard to rotate between the sites, so a 4v4 is generally going to favor the Ts. And while in this round, YEKINDAR seems maybe a little tunnel visioned on Banana and doesn't realize the incendiary that's thrown down mid to make life awkward for him, he is still able to go 1-for-1 through the smoke. And then finally, to end the domination of Banana that YEKINDAR did on this map, he has the best spawn here and decides to go with the MAC-10 instead of getting dropped an AK. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure why Vitality use literally no nades and play Apex at Sandbags here, but the smoke YEKINDAR throws means if there were a molly, he could continue to run up Banana, and again, solid utility. And yes, technically this isn't YEKINDAR's opening kill, but let's be real, we can basically count it for him. And I'm going to let this play out as he even comes through in the clutch this time round. That last half was a great example of how his stat line doesn't look insane, but the kills he was getting were basically single-handedly winning rounds for his team. Though I do think sometimes this style of play can look better against weaker opposition, and in the grand final, the other maps outside of Inferno were pretty mediocre by his standards. Now that you've seen how YEKINDAR gets openings on Team Liquid, why not check out how OC AWPs on Team Liquid by clicking this video over here.